There are always going to be people out there that just don't like you. What my conviction is may not be your conviction. I don't feel like I'm an influencer. I'm just a normal mom who likes to talk to a camera and share her life online. I have a lot of thoughts about this. Hello you guys, welcome back to this week's video. We are having a very casual coffee chat today. I think these might be my favorite kind of videos to film just because I feel like I get to connect with you guys. Let me know if you also enjoy these videos. Give them a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not already. Before we jump right in, I did want to thank the sponsor of today's video, which is Factor. We love Factor around here. They are fresh, never frozen meals that are delivered right to your front door, and I've been using them for, I want to say, almost 2 years now, and I love them so much. Like I said, they get delivered right to your front door. They're so easy and convenient, but you're not sacrificing any kind of quality. The ingredients that they use and the recipes are incredible. We personally use the Calorie Smart plan, but there are choices and options for literally everyone. So whether you're keto, vegetarian, vegan, they literally have something for everybody, and all of them are so delicious. I've never had a Factor meal that I did not love. I had a Factor meal for lunch today. We had a busy morning at the park, came home, and I just put my Factor meal in the microwave for 2 minutes and it was ready for me to eat. And that's my favorite part, especially for lunches. As a busy stay-at-home mom, I just don't have the time to make myself big lunches. It's an easy little way to treat myself throughout the day, and Factor is kind enough to give you guys a discount code. So you can use the link below or head to factor75.com. Use the promo code 50EmmaGrace for 50% off of your first Factor box and free shipping. Thank you so much to Factor for sponsoring another video. Let's get into these questions. We're gonna start with a banger because I got asked this question a lot. Halloween. Let's talk about it. So I got multiple questions asking if my family celebrates Halloween, what we're doing for Halloween, if we're doing anything. And I'm not gonna go crazy in depth because, well, let's just answer the question first. Do we celebrate Halloween? No, we do not. And I'm not here to convince you that you shouldn't either. So let's just start there. Long story short, it's a conviction of mine, and the thing about convictions is what my conviction is may not be your conviction, and I don't think that that means that you are wrong, and I am not here to convince you that you are wrong. And I'm probably not going to convince you that you're wrong, because this is something that people feel so strongly one way or the other towards, and for good reason, but I am not here to argue or convince you otherwise or make you feel like a horrible person if you want to celebrate Halloween. That is not what I'm here to do, but I did get so many questions about it. So here's the very short answer. My family does not celebrate Halloween. I feel like every single year this is a question when October rolls around, is how do we want to navigate this? What do we feel comfortable with? Because this was not something I would have given you a black and white answer on even a year ago. Growing up, I never celebrated Halloween. I have never in my life gone trick-or-treating. I've never had a Halloween costume. I would stay home from school on Halloween. I was that family that did nothing. And I wasn't sure if that's what I wanted to be when I got married or what we were going to do, because the thing about getting married and having children when you are a Christian is it's one thing to be raised in a certain faith, it's one thing to be raised with beliefs, it's another to believe it for yourself and to make that decision yourself for your family and your home. And that's kind of where I've been the last several years, especially since having Jordan. This has really been a question every single year of what do I feel comfortable with. We've never taken Jordan trick-or-treating. This is her third Halloween, and the last 2 years we did dress her up. We bought her, well, 2 years ago on her first Halloween, I did buy her a Halloween costume because it was adorable, took a picture in it, that was all we did. Didn't take her trick-or-treating or anything, didn't celebrate, didn't pass out candy. Last year, I didn't go buy her a costume, but she just wore something that she already had, and I took a cute picture of her again, but we didn't take her trick-or-treating. We did pass out candy, and I put out a little bucket on the porch. I put Bible verses with the candy. I was trying really hard to find this compromise, and I just did not enjoy it and did not feel peace about it by the end of the night, and I was like, nope, I'm done. I've gone back and forth for several years, but something last year just made me feel, nope, I don't want to do this. So this year I have felt very strongly about it, to be honest. Not strongly in the sense that I'm gonna come down your throat if you're celebrating Halloween. Strongly in the sense that I know I don't want to celebrate Halloween. The decorations and the costumes and everything is just gory and gross and scary and not light. I don't want anything to do with it, to be honest with you, and I have a lot of thoughts about this, and I'm not going to really go in depth on all of that because there's just no point, honestly. All I would say is if this is something that you are really debating or kind of going back and forth on, just ask the Lord to show you. I feel like when I asked God to make it very obvious to me what I should do, He did. And I can't just ignore that. And that's why I'm not here to convince you otherwise, because I am responsible to the Lord only, and I just don't feel comfortable doing it. So we will not be participating. We did not attend a trunk or treat. We did not buy her a costume. Hallie will not be wearing a costume. We will not be trick-or-treating. We will not be giving candy to trick-or-treaters. We will not be doing any of that. And I'm okay with that. And if you're okay with celebrating it, that's fine. I'm not here to argue, but I did get a lot of questions about it. So I wanted to just touch on that really quickly. There's that on that. Okay, now that I'm reading back through my little question box, I also had a lot of people ask me about being an influencer, being a YouTube mama and an Instagrammer and an influencer and all that. How I got started on that, if I enjoy it, what are the pros and cons, all of that. And I feel like it's probably because this is getting so popular and so many people are now seeing what a joy this is and what a blessing it can be financially as well to provide for your family. And so I feel like a lot of people are starting to like dip their toes into the influencer world, which is really fun. Condensed version, if you have not been here for a while, I started as an influencer. I actually hate that word. I don't feel like I'm an influencer. I'm just a normal mom who likes to talk to a camera and share her life online. Like, I don't feel like influencer is accurate to me and my lifestyle at all. But anyways, I was a first grade teacher before I stayed home, right? Some of you have been here for that long. Let me know if that's you, or let me know if you've been here since the mom content. But I made a teachergram when I was student teaching, which was the fall of 2019. It picked up followers very quickly. I shared a lot. I shared very consistently. I had a nice, cute little aesthetic feed. It was so fun for me, very creative, very entertaining. Reels was not a thing then though. It was just pictures. I would share things I was making, lessons, and like all these fun little cute teacher outfits. Like, it was so fun. And it was just pictures with like tons of filters and presets. And it was, honestly, it was really fun. There's definitely a whole scene for Teachergram. And then when the shutdown happened in 2020, I was bored, to be honest with you. And I had my Instagram, I was really enjoying it. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start a YouTube channel because I have nothing else to do. And I was getting ready for my first classroom. It was the summer before my first year of teaching. And I decided to just vlog that journey because I've always loved making videos. I was that kid that posted silly music videos on YouTube as a kid. I just always wanted to be filming things or being filmed. I loved making videos my entire life. And it's just funny now looking back, like, God places things in your life that are passions for a reason, and this is such a passion of mine, and it's just such a blessing that it's come so full circle. Anyways, that's how I got started on social media. That gave me followers pretty quickly. I would say a big majority of the followers that I have came from that momentum. Pros and cons though of being an influencer and having a YouTube channel. There's a lot of pros. Like, it is so much fun. I truly feel like you guys are my friends, and I know that sounds weird and cliche. It doesn't feel like I'm just talking to myself. It feels like I know you guys, and I know that you guys genuinely support me and care about me. That's a blessing. I also feel like God has really used this platform to spread light and to spread the gospel and just show others the love of Christ. Even if you're not a believer, I just hope that you can feel the love of Christ in me through my videos, even if I'm not preaching or reading the Bible to you or whatever. My whole goal is just to be the light in all aspects. And I just think it's incredible that God has used social media to do that. And of course, a pro is also that it does provide income for my family. I don't make a bazillion dollars. I don't make that much, but man, every dollar counts when you're a stay-at-home mom, you know? Little things like using my links and codes and using affiliate links, all of that really does add up, and it's such a blessing. Helps me get to stay home, which is crazy because I never expected to be a stay-at-home mom, and now I can't see it in my life any other way. However, there are obviously some cons. The biggest one that stops people from pursuing content creation and social media is just the fear of what other people think of you. And I wouldn't say that's necessarily a con for me, but it definitely is something that I consider sometimes. Is there are always going to be people out there that just don't like you, that don't agree with what you think or say, and that's okay. But part of having social media that's public for the entire world to see is you are like opening yourself up to that criticism. Even if people don't write mean things, you're opening yourself up to people viewing you and watching you and judging you, especially people you know in real life, which is why I think most people don't start social media is they're afraid of what people around them that know them in real life will think, and that's totally valid. But also, you know what? Who cares? Because there are far more pros than cons in my opinion. It is hard. It's not like it's easy to get criticized or easy to put yourself out there. Another con, there's not a lot of black and white with social media, and I think that's one of the hardest parts for me, especially in this stage, is I'm a stay-at-home mom, but I'm also filming my days as a stay-at-home mom, and so the lines are really blurred. It's not like I'm getting childcare to work from home. It's not like I leave and go to a job and then I clock out and I come home. It's like I am kind of working all day, but I'm also taking care of my kids all day, and there's a lot of blurred lines, and that's hard. It's also hard like balancing privacy and having to be so hyper aware of what I'm sharing. I am so conscious of what I share. It's little things that I feel like nobody would really think about that I hyper fixate on. When I'm filming anything and posting anything, I am so aware and alert of like what's in the background. Are there street signs? Are there any landmarks people could see? Are there other houses that people could see and find and see like the neighborhood I'm in? Are there anything that's gonna give away even like the state that I'm in? Like literally anything I am so aware of. That might be a con for me too, is you're also opening yourself up to having a lack of privacy. There's just a lot that goes into it that I feel like no one really thinks about. It's also really fun. Like I just get to chat with all of you all day and talk to you on Instagram and like relate to you, learn from you, encourage you. It's the best. How do you feel about your girls' age gap now that Hallie's a little bit older? So my girls are 2 years and 3 months apart, which I always said, you know, I'm not 2 under 2. That's not that close. I am now realizing that is that close. It's really fun. And I know that I'm going to absolutely love it in like a year or two. And I do love it most of the time, but I will say I feel like if we have a third, my plan was always to make each gap 2 years apart, and I could change my mind. But right now I'm like, that third kid, I need a bigger gap because this is fun. It will be worth it. It is already worth it. Like they adore each other. They are each other's best friend, and it is so sweet. But they're both still very little, and it is truly exhausting having 2 very little babies. And also it won't be like this forever, and I know that it's going to be worth it. Like I really do believe that this is such a great gap, especially for years down the road. I know that they are going to be obsessed with each other more and more as they get older. So I would recommend, but I don't know that I will do it again. If you were to go back in time, would you still have gone to school to be a teacher? I would say yes. I also got asked though if I plan on going back anytime soon, or like what my future is for teaching. And I'm sure it's just because I'm in the trenches right now, but I just have no desire. And I did the whole working mom thing. I worked for Jordan's like first year and a half of life. I worked until she was 18 months old, and it was hard, and I had 1 kid and she was very young. But I cannot even imagine working full-time, especially as a teacher, which being a first grade teacher is so all-consuming and draining. Not a light, easy job by any means. I can't imagine doing that with my girls at the age they are right now. So I am not in a rush to get back to the classroom. I don't know what the future holds for me, honestly. I've actually started kind of going through my teacher stuff. I definitely like purged a lot of stuff. I kind of decluttered and organized and sold a lot of like my books and some of my other teacher stuff that I just didn't want to hold on to, because I just don't see myself in the classroom anytime soon. My kids are a lot older maybe, but I just really enjoy being able to be at home and like focus on my kids, focus on taking care of my home, focus on social media. I feel like that's where God's calling me to right now, and I do not feel even remotely called to going back into the classroom. Same thing with subbing. I subbed last year and it was great, but I don't feel like God is asking me to do that right now. I really feel like he just needs me to like focus on this stage and this job, you know, my children and my home. But my life is not always up to me, so we'll see. A follow-up question to that: what helped relieve your guilt of quitting teaching to be home with your babies? My children are more important than my students, point blank period. The only thing I've had guilt with is letting go of an extra income. There is a daggum fly in here and he's driving me nuts. Can you see him? I'll have my video when I sat down, like when I quit and I announced that I quit, up here, because I feel like that's a good video to watch if you haven't already, because that really talks about how I was feeling, how I made the decision, came to the decision, processed it all. It's a really good one if you are curious, or if you're a teacher and you want to quit. Okay, how do you handle working with Jordan? I feel so disconnected from my baby. This is where I really struggle too, because I have to do things. I have to get things done around the house. I have to work. I really try to do a lot of work when my girls are asleep, but honestly, that time is so short, especially when they're both asleep. It's so short that I can't save every single thing that I need to do for those moments. And something that I have really been reminding myself lately is it is good for them to see me work. It's good for them to see me clean. I have to remind myself I can be present and I can also take some time to do whatever it is I need to do. I think there's a big difference between sitting on the couch watching reality TV for 8 hours straight versus taking a minute because I really need to respond to some emails, or I really need to do some housework, or whatever it might be. I think it's good for your kids to see and have that example of responsibility. That's definitely a balance that I feel like every single day I'm trying to find. And I also just want to say, I feel like mom guilt plays a huge role in that. Did you just see that fly? Are you kidding? I've been really struggling with mom guilt lately, and it is just such a lie from the enemy. Like, there is no truth behind that. I swear, if you have mom guilt, that means you're a good mom, because that means that you care and you are aware and hyper alert on your time and your energy and your focus and attention and all these things that make you a good mom. So whenever I'm having these thoughts of mom guilt, I have to tell myself, you're a good mom. You're allowed to go do the dishes in quiet. You're a good mom. You're allowed to go take a break. You're a good mom. You're allowed to go do some work. I tend to associate being a good mom with being an overly present mom, if that makes sense. Like, I'm only a good mom when I'm sitting on the floor with my kids playing with their dollhouse with them. And that's fun. I will do that with them. But also, I'm a good mom when I take care of their home. I'm a good mom when I'm doing their laundry. I'm a good mom when I'm providing for them by working and editing and emailing or whatever. And I have to tell myself that every single time. And I think that's very normal, but I just challenge you not to allow the enemy to lie to you and make you feel like you're a bad mom, or there's something to be feeling guilty about, because that's not true. I'm gonna wrap it up with one of my favorite questions that I get asked, which is, what is God teaching you right now? I heard an amazing sermon the other day. I don't even know how to like summarize it in 2 seconds, but basically it was about your faith should always be growing. If you are just doing the same old things, you're not feeling any growth, you're not feeling like you're getting closer to the Lord, then you're falling away from the Lord. Like, there's not really a gray area with your faith. It's very black and white, yes or no. What are you going to choose today? Are you going to choose to distract yourself or put your identity in something besides the Lord? Are you going to choose to scroll on your phone instead of read your Bible? Are you going to choose to lose your patience and be quick to speak instead of slow to speak? You're making a choice either way. You're either choosing light or darkness. You're either choosing to grow closer to the Lord, or you're choosing to walk farther from the Lord. There's not an in-between. And that was so convicting for me, because I don't feel like I'm walking farther from the Lord, but a lot of the times I don't necessarily feel like I'm walking closer to Him. And that's what I needed to hear. So that's kind of what I've been working on, is like, if I'm not growing, if I'm not actively trying and seeking to be better, to hear God better, to read the word better, to be a better mom, to spread the gospel more, then I'm falling away. That's what I've been working on. And obviously every single day, the Lord is growing me. I would love to hear what you guys are learning right now, or what is something you feel like you are growing in right now. I think I'm gonna wrap up this video here. Thank you guys so much for watching and just chatting with me today. Hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful week, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, friends.